My name is Melissa de Billo. I'm from Slow Food South Africa. I live in Johannesburg, and I grew up in KwaZulu-Natal, which is my home region. I work as an architect as my day job. That is my profession, but I'm more passionate about agriculture and food security for my country, and that's what is important to me. GM agriculture in South Africa, maize is a staple grain in South Africa, and the current statistics show that 80% of our maize crop is genetically modified, which is apparently very high by world standards. It may even be the highest. This means that every person in South Africa has GMO maize on their table. The problem is that traditional maizes that have been handed down through generations of small farmers have virtually died out. Now, what we are trying to do is resurrect and save the last few traditional maize varieties that exist in South Africa, so that we can sort of start a kind of almost like an underground movement against the GMO and almost grow the system slowly out by promoting the traditional maizes and growing them again and starting to teach people how to save the seeds, because the critical factor here is that the art of seed saving has been lost as well. And that is actually what could destroy our traditional maize crops, and it's just seeds generally. Alongside our maize crops, the traditional maize crops, the southern African farmers, the traditional farmers, practice a similar way of planting in an agroecological system to the Mexican milpa system. And it's not certain whether the knowledge came via the Portuguese sailors or whether it was something they themselves naturally evolved. There's no known history behind that. But the kinds of things that they grow with their maize crops are various legumes. To give you some examples, there are cowpeas and yimo beans, mung beans, which come from Asia. But some of those beans are specifically developed or have evolved in that region. There are also squash varieties, melon varieties. Amaranth is another one that forms part of that agroecological system. Those are the three or the four sisters, as we call them in South Africa, which is not unlike the Mexican milpa farming system. In Johannesburg, specifically where I live, that's where I work as well with the Slow Food movement. We have a very strong alliance with the University of Johannesburg, who runs a free farmers' school once a month at the University of Johannesburg campus in Soweto. Soweto is a historical township where during the apartheid days only black people were allowed to live, very marginalized, very poor. And now that the University of Johannesburg has set up a campus there are now empowerment projects in place. Through our Slow Food connection with them, we have been able to go to these farmers. We were invited as Slow Food to go and speak to the farmers about the Ark of Taste and seed saving. And in these farmers' minds, just going and giving them one presentation about the Ark of Taste and explaining what it's about and what Slow Food is about, it really captured their imagination. Youth farmers are now going back to their elders in their villages and bringing seeds back to the urban areas and growing them in their urban farms, in the school gardens. That's been a very positive effect of the Ark of Taste. So it's empowering, showing the youth, please don't lose your tradition and your heritage and your cultural foods. A more specific positive aspect that has come out of it is the Rainbow Maize Presidium, where the farmers of Soweto have offered their services as seed custodians for the rainbow maize, which currently grows in an area that's quite vulnerable to GMO maize. They want to be able to protect it in another environment where there are no other maize varieties grown around. So we have a custodianship of Presidium products, and we are looking forward to perhaps assisting with more of those in the future. Slow food as a concept has captured the imagination of the Soweto farmers.